high lobbies, it is a little bit underpowered, I would say, at the moment.
All right, let's see what the players think because, again, in both lobbies we did see the Lagoon take flight and get first place. Now, maybe that changes things up. Maybe players are going to be pursuing it just a teeny tiny bit more if they can get that Lagoon start. That's so important with this comp, right? You want to get that Lagoon stacking as soon as you can, and the earlier the better. So you really need to try and get that somehow in the earlier stages, which with the few shops that you get is not always easy.
Yeah, and when we had the quick look at Percy's board from the other lobby, it looked like he did have that same key that you're talking about there, because I think he got the Lagoon Heart in the first augment. So I'm sure that meant he was stacking them straight from the start. And then, of course, with Ezreal with the crest on him, with the spat on him, that made it so easy, not only for him to get it going, but obviously Ezreal just casts a lot, right? Like he's just an excellent unit to have if you're trying to maximize those stacks. So both of those players, 100% kind of agreeing with your analysis there.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen Ezreal's early game and even up to mid-game carry do fantastic. I think out of the one cost, it's probably my favorite together with Karma. Both of these are such great item holders that you can work out into different comps. And of course, if you're getting a Lagoon emblem, if you're getting some type of Lagoon onto Ezreal, then you're just going to have really, really lovely stacks. But for now, I am liking this opener here for a different comp, and that is a comp I like to play a lot. It's not as pursued as other comps right now. It's not Jade Siphon like. Aw, come on. I was hoping if I wouldn't mention it, we're gonna get those prismatics, but it's going to be Silver Augments. How are you feeling about consistency? I mean the augment.
Yeah. I've only taken it once myself, and it was, I think, probably my best game of the set. I think, was it the one I got a Mr. 100 on, actually? My first one ever? Like, it can be, obviously, a very, very good augment. But I think you have to think long and hard about the position you're in. You obviously need... I guess you can take it and just sack immediately. I don't think that's what Tamura wants to go for here. He does take it. I kind of want to see him go... I mean, like, wow, you could put in two-star Leonas as a front line here. That's like something he could think about. But he's actually going to go the other way, right? He's gonna try and I guess lose streak through the start of this.
Yeah, I think so too. I would have preferred to see him try and pull up a win streak, but of course the losing streak is easier and the safer way. And right now we are not going for a first or eight kind of playstyle, right? We're not that far into the day just yet. So I feel it makes sense to go with a little bit of the safer way, but picking up consistency is really awesome. I love this augment so much. It's just, it creates these really fun plays from players like forcing into early levels, trying to roll down at really weird timings, or just completely open forting in the early game. And I really like how that changes up the lobby. So consistency being picked up by Tamura here. Probably one of my favorite augments going into this lobby. For now. Let's see what else comes up here, right? But for now, definitely a great augment to have.
Yeah, one of those tempo levers that we've talked a lot about. Pirate's Greed was the one that we saw in the last game to change things up, and consistency. Another one of those. I mean, I found it interesting that he did go with the lose streak additionally because he had the option to make 10 gold after 1-4, and he decided to keep his options open and keep a lot of those pairs. Especially with that double front line. I mean, he could have been, 2/3 of the way to a 3-star Leona already, but is that really the ticket when you've got what is it, Dawnbringer? It looks like is the Mirage this time. So there's a Giant Slayer on the bench as well, right? That's you can see that slammed on a Deja as well, but it's maybe a little bit early for him to be making that decision.
Having the Guild and Swiftshot already online, this could also go into the way of Xayah. So having that Giant Slayer, Swiftshot would be interesting. But notably, Tamura had the option of going with the Ragewing heart and didn't go for it. So maybe not wanting to lock himself into that just yet. Of course, it's only round 2, 3, so everything's still very, very open. And yeah, players are looking to see where they can go. We're currently on Soul's board, who built up a little Astral, getting a little bit of extra econ, meeting up with Aurora, and Aurora is still 100 HP. And something else is going on in this lobby that we need to call out. Temple has risen above everyone else with Tiny Titans being picked up here and is now currently 130. It's going to be a nice little cushion. And interestingly enough, Temple not going for an open fort strategy, but trying the win streak.
Yeah. And it's, you know what, it always, I feel like something we don't talk about enough is like how that hurts you in terms of carousel that we're seeing here, right? So, I mean, yeah, sure, you get that cushion, but how much faster are you running it down? How much faster are you running that health total down throughout the game? Because you're always getting last pick. You're never getting, you know, the items that you necessarily need. Maybe there's even a champion that's on the carousel that could help you out. And that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not only the first carousel, right? You said it. It's going to be a couple of carousel because until those 30 HP are burnt down, it's going to take some time. And Temple isn't looking like they want to go that road. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn out in terms of itemization. If there's maybe something that can help to get those items right, or if we're just going to be very flexy with the board that he's building. For now, it will be that way, and he will miss out on some of the carousel picks. Now, here's something else. Obu on that Olaf has found it rather early from the looks, and has built a Bloodthirster as well as the BF sword for now on it. This could be a potential for Warrior Bruiser, maybe even scale scoring in the long run.
Yeah, it could be. I feel like, I mean, you know, you tell me about your travels, Max, but I find Bloodthirster to be a suboptimal item on Olaf, and probably not something I'd slam on him that early. I think the Hand of Justice is a little bit better there. Just gives him, you know, the extra AD and all that, and so that makes me think it could be a soy angle there instead.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Just, you know, seeing of what else is on the board. There was a Wukong present. It is the easier and safer way to angle that Olaf into a Shiryu and just use the extra AD that you can get early on to have a little bit of a win streak or a more stable early and mid game. So I think you might be right, even though I would have liked to see skill scoring once again. I think unless players are getting those skill scoring emblems from augments to actually unlock 6 skill scoring, I'm going to keep saying that, to unlock 6 skill scoring, then skill scoring is actually going to be great. I don't think 4 skill scoring is at the power level that it needs to be to compete with some other comps that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, coming into the weekend, I thought it might have been, but evidence sort of says otherwise. Going for some components at the start here, Aurora has slammed a lot of them. You can see that's definitely giving Aurora the power to stay at 100, fully streak, as well as Erend, actually. So we've got 2 players there on the full 100.
Okay.
And then, 60 gold at 2.7. That's not bad.
That's the consistency coming through here for Tamura. Of course, you have to note Tamura is also on 60 HP, right? So having dropped a lot in HP to assure that you're going to get that losing streak, has bled a little, but is now super well equipped in terms of economy, and that can do so much for your board. Even picked up the Astral during those mid-game rounds, getting a little bit of extra every time he comes around. So that was really, really nicely played with that consistency is what you want to see from here on out. Hopefully you can turn it around. Look at that, 71 gold, just printing money at this point.
Yeah, as you said, though, he's lost 40 health already. Where does he go from this? He definitely needs to hit something. What's he going to slam? Okay, a Death Blade onto his level 1 Varus. That is, that's an interesting option, but he's definitely at that point where he probably wants to start saving a little bit more health. I kind of thought we might see a Zeke's come out there, but, you know, I get that too. Where does this mean it'll end up? I think that is yet to be determined. And the investor, the determined investor, we can see that as well on the other side for Kade. So he's got that shimmer scale up and running, trying to look to get the diamond hands alongside stacking up the preparation stacks on his board. And you can see there's already a Xiaoyu in waiting.
Exactly. So something we are seeing players with preparation as augments do is just actively sack stage 2, making sure that they get those stacks. Now, I'm not sure when that Xiaoyu appeared, but I would bet that we're going to wait until that Xiaoyu has at least 2 or 3 stacks of the preparation before she's going to be put in. Just to make sure that she's actually profiting off that augment and you're not playing without the board strength that you could have. Even though if you're going to bleed a little bit before, early stages don't hurt as much. So you want to lose there, get those stacks onto the Xiaoyu, and then slam her in, make sure she's as empowered as can be, and hopefully try to snowball from that moment on. Now we're going to hop on over to Aaron, who in round 3-2 is still on 100 HP, 6 win streak, did get a little bit of gold, not yet at the 50, but looking pretty strong, right? Lots of swift shot in this lobby.
Yeah, you know, I look at this board and I'm like, is it that strong? And then I'm like, damn, man, Ezreal too, he really carries, right? Like, he doesn't have the most, you know, the craziest units. There's no, like, 4 cost here that he's picked up early or anything like that. He's just got a bunch of traits activated. He's got Ludens working with that ever-casting Ezreal. He's slammed 1 item. It's not even he's you know, got 2 or 3 running there. It's crazy. It never ceases to surprise me how much a 2-star 1-cost unit can do in Ezreal.
Oh, for sure. The Archangels, you said it, just, you know, doing some extra lifting, and you love to see that. Now, okay. Recombobulator coming through clutch here for Kade. That is something. 3-3 Aurelion Soul just hit. I mean, okay. Let's talk about it, right? Yeah, extra dragon. Xiaoyu in the shop, gonna pick that up. It is preparation still. So, we need to kind of talk about that Aurelion Soul. So, in round 3-3, it does have 2 AP items. Not gonna do too much for now, but later on it's really going to scale up and do so much damage, and just having that now is lovely. Now, what else is lovely? We have a giveaway running for you guys. Now this time around, it's not exclamation mark egg, it's exclamation mark chest, just like the chest that Kade just unlocked with that Aurelion Soul on round 3-3.
Yeah, we had a question in the chat. How can he hit it at level 6? If you look at the augment list over the left there, you'll see he used Recombobulator. So that means he must have had a level, an 8-cost dragon.
That was the Xiaoyu.
Sorry, so a 7-cost dragon? Yeah, because dragons can recombobulate into other dragons, and normal units will recombobulate into other units, right? No, he picked up the Xiaoyu after he already had the ASOL.
No, he had one before.
He must have had another one, yeah.
That was on the bench, because we saw him play against, I don't even know who it was, but we did see the
that was that guy,
where the Xiaoyu was on the bench with the preparation. We talked about it, and then Recombobulator came through. So he must have put that Xiaoyu on the board and then found the Aurelion Soul. That's what was going along. So, yeah, for Kade, I don't think he's going to be able to translate it right into board strength. Like I said, Aurelion Soul 1, not doing too much, even with 2 AP augments, but it will be a pretty good indicator for where this late game might be going with 2 dragons already available to Kade. Now, Obu has not given up on the dream just yet. 4 scale scoring unlocked for now. Just 10 gold, so not a lot to work with. And it's an Olaf 1 and a Diana 1. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, look, a Guinsoo slam, a Bloodthirster slam. This is making it even more seem to me that, you know, this isn't eventually where he wants to end up. This isn't his end game. That said, look, 3 items, it'll do a bit, right? And you can see Olaf absolutely chipping away here, even at 1 star. If you position him right, if you've got the right traits active for him, he really can pop off even at 1 star, especially when you consider, look how much those hands are glowing, right? If that's something you guys haven't noticed before, the more times he dies, the bigger those glows get, and that's indicating how much extra attack damage he's getting per death through that passive.
Exactly. So already stacked up pretty decently, I would say, by judging the glow of his hands. And now we're back on Aaron's board, still going strong. 9 win streak now, has built up a little bit of extra econ, a 40 for now, and is still on a very, very flexible board. Has that Ezreal, we talked about it earlier, it's just doing so much. Now, additionally to that Archangel, has gotten Giant Slayer, and on the other side of the board is Temple, who's like, yeah, I got that too. Where's my 100% win streak?
It's the mirror matchup, right? They've both got the Sejuani on the front line as well, so that seems to be, pretty heavily hinting that they're both looking for that Deja at this point. Giant Slayer, Archangel's obviously very good, items to be transferring over to the Mirage Dragon, and obviously even stacking up some of those Mirages on the bench. As you can see, the Nunu is there. So it might even just be, which one of them can hit that first. But at the moment, Aaron has kept the streak alive. Temple has obviously lost 40 health, being the one that took Tiny Titans. So without that, would be sitting in, 6th place, 5th place there, with 60 health. So... But still, as we mentioned, could be still going last pick in the next carousel. It does have that double-edged sword.
I am really worried for the general well-being of the lobby now that we are starting to get into stage 4. Because there's so many boards here that are currently on a swift shot angle. We have seen one board with the Xayah already, Yush just hitting the Zippy too. We currently are watching Tamura, who's also on a Zippy on the bench, on a Hecarim on the bench, has those great swift shot items on the Varus currently. So there's a lot of players angling, looking at the swift shot Xayah comp. And no way they can all go for it. So that's going to be the big kicker. We are seeing right now Aurora has picked up a Deja. It is a Dawnbringer, so that's a really good other direction that you could go into, with the Guild Mirage being really lovely for some of the Mirage variations.
Yeah, it means he doesn't have to put a healing item on there, right? I mean, he's got the Guild Heart, yeah, and that means he can put those 3 damage items on his Deja and just focus on getting the just tearing through the opposition straight away. You never know. We'll see what happens with this last augment, where that ends up. Axiom Arc, Second Wind, and Celestial Blessing 2 here. Interesting options for Tamura for a swift shot angle. Comes out with a Xayah.
Yeah, ooh, that's a big pickup. Also finds the Deja and another Zippy. This shop is giving Tamura life, and I mean that literally. It's just gonna come through here as board strength, and that will be so good. The Xayah 2 being hit for Tamura. There's a Shyvana on the bench for Kade, who's angling those dragons. So actually it has another on the board. There's 2 Shyvanas on Kade's just general board and bench. Holy, that is so strong. But Tamura also finding a Shyvana now. These players will meet here. Let's see who can take it.
I mean, and this is why these players are so good, right? They press the D key, and you get a Xayah 2, you get a Shyvana. Somehow they just make it happen. So the full pivot there from Tamura happening at exactly the right time and exactly the way that he might have wished. Getting rid of the Varus, upgrading to a Xayah 2. That is one hell of an upgrade. But as you said, a couple of Shyvanas, picked up elsewhere in this lobby mean it's going to be perhaps a little bit tougher for him to get to level 2. But honestly, we're still early in stage 4. That's a nice to have at this point.
Hear me out. So there are two Shyvanas on this board. There are two Xiaoyus and two Idases, right? So finding the Xiaoyu 2 in the store naturally is going to be fantastic because you still have that champion duplicator. It's going to be used here by Kade. He has to. He's on 18 HP. He's standing on his last leg, and he needs to slam anything and everything that's currently available to him. He's going to meet with Aaron, the strongest player up to this point. Has been dethroned now, but let's see what the Shyvana can do. She has perfect items. These are so good. Just coming through, big breath into the entire front row, and that Ezreal will not be enough against the entire party of dragons that Kade has built for now, and hopefully this is the turning point where he actually can gather more board strength and snowball from here on out.
Yeah, it was a David versus Goliath battle if I've ever seen one. Several dragons bearing down upon the little man. Kade, yeah, as you said, 18 health. If now's not the time for him to step up, there won't be one makes. So it was like that was a hell of a hit, and I think that probably will stabilize him for quite some time. 4 dragons, not too bad. Obviously, you can't get, you can't push that up with Age of Dragons or any other augments now that we're past the 3rd one. But I don't know. We still haven't seen that prismatic augment. By the way,
yeah. I'm starting to lobby for it, messaging Riot as we speak behind the lines to change the script.
Do you have the direct line to Mort?
Sure, I just texted him. It's like, Mort,
great.
Please. Happy late birthday, but can we get that? No, unfortunately, I do not possess those powers. I wish I did, but not going to be happening for me for now. We are currently on Temple's board, who is on that 6 Mirage now. Lovely Darnbringers once again still has some items that could be slammed here, and will be slammed. Is going to be the dual gauntlet as a 3rd item. It's a little bit of a mirror match, as on the other side of the board Aurora has also built up a Deja.
Yeah, we saw a couple of those players, right? Building the items that way makes total sense. Oh man, this Zippy in the back line though. Not only is he stopping some of that healing coming through, but he's also providing a little bit of CC. Is that going to be enough, though, versus the Archangels? Yes, it is, even with the Celestial healing. Big Friend actually coming in kind of clutch there to help mitigate a bit of that damage there. So Temple will take the L even after slamming that last item.
Yeah, and it seems Kade found a Soraka, because last time I checked, he was on 18 HP. Now he's on 20, so something, either it's sorcery or he has that Soraka together with the dragons on board. That's going to be so good for Kade, because I was very worried for him for a second. But now that he has found the Shyvana 2 and the Soraka, it's just going to be really, really good. He will be able to regenerate those HP that he lost. And I just saw something else that was a little bit scary. I'm not sure if you caught it, There was somebody that hit an Aoshin too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something that we saw people struggle with last game. And yeah, the difference between that Aoshin 1 and Aoshin 2 is nuts. Apparently that was Soul TV over there. So I mean, yeah, it just makes a huge difference, like in 2 ways, right? Like I think honestly less so in damage and almost more so in the survivability, because any kind of stray Deja ult or whatever you might get there, maybe just an assassin jumping in your back line, it's really easy to take down that Aoshin 1. It's just a little bit too squishy, but as you can see, he's managed to get there with both the Guinsus, which is a fantastic item. Ooh, doesn't go for the second. I mean, that would have been a decent shot, I almost feel. Like, imagine a second Guinsus plus a Zeke's next to it. That Aoshin would be popping.
Yeah, doesn't want it, though. It's not going to be that Rage Blade for now. And it will be instead the Giant Slayer on that Aoshin. And this board is really, really nice. I have to say, I like seeing those guild combinations come out. Even though we are currently on a lot of 1-stars, there's also Shyvana being picked up, because why not? Somebody else must have been looking for it, so we're going to hold on to it for a second there. Going to be sold off, don't need it. Still rolling, trying to find something else here. There's a Yasuo, not going to be interesting for Soul, who's still rolling down. I think we're probably looking for the second Jace, because that would add some extra beefiness to this board that we're currently missing. But yeah, here's Kare, just healing up casually over time.
Oh, wow. Yep, with that Soraka, that'll help you out, almost like having a little metabolic boost in a unit. As you can see, that Jace at the front is looking hella scary there. He's got the diamond hands, and then, you know, as soon as that first diamond hands proc is lost, bam, it's Shyvana onto the rest of the board. 2-star with 3 amazing items, and she's going to be doing hella damage there, as you can see. The flames coming out. The 2-star Dejas. We've got 3 Deja players in the lobby. Now, I think Yush was one of the ones sitting at 6 Mirage there, which means he gets the second heal. And even the second heal there isn't enough.
Yeah, that was really close, though. If the Shyvana hadn't gotten another ult off, I think that might have turned the other way around. So Yush now on 8 HP, followed by Temple, who is on 13. Both Temple and Yush are on the Deja train, and it seems like they might be just, you know, going down, holding hands a little bit. Temple able to find that Zippy 2 here now, maybe adding a little bit of push strength, and actually has pivoted out of the Deja, is now on to ASOL.
Yeah, ASOL certainly seems like it's the lesser of the 2 you know, 9-cost dragon options, right? Wait, 8-cost, 9-cost? Man,
someone might die here. Someone
ever since they messed with those numbers, I'm having trouble remembering them. But yeah, but you're right. This is a chance to see who's going to go out in 8th. Probably a big ASOL proc. Will the second one come in time? It just takes too long. That's the problem. That's the problem with ASOL, and we're seeing it right there, and that's why Temple is going out. You know, at least with our Shin, sure, you might need a Shojin or a Grinsus or whatever it might be to get those casts happening. But once they do, you kind of guaranteed some damage there, right? I feel like I've seen that way too many times to ever try and itemize my ASOL outside of like an Astral reroll angle, because he always gets left alive, and then someone's just picking at him, and they always take him out before that big ult pops.
I personally, I just have a great dislike for ASOL. I'm going to say it here and now. So maybe Aaron can convince me otherwise. Both of these players are fairly low, but Tamura and Yush are now fighting for their life. They're not meeting, but Tamura is meeting with Aaron, who has changed the carry from Ezreal to that ASOL in the backline. Can the Xayah take him out before he can get a bigger ult off? And I think that's going to be a yes. There she goes, and Tamura is safe for another day. Hopefully can Yush do the same.
Yeah, look, another thing I just want to mention quickly there, Makes, was that Temple, just as a reminder, had that Tiny Titans. So he lost 130 health before anyone else lost 100. And, you know, we were talking about the sort of the ups and downs of that org bit. And usually it's one that can guarantee you at least, like, I don't know, say like a 6th place or something, just because it's hard to lose that more, you know, before anyone else. But not in this case. And yeah, gonna take the 8th.
So something in this lobby that's going on that's a little bit sussy, Genome. I'm not sure if you noticed it. In the bottom of the lobby, currently there's a lot of players with a Shyvana, with a Deja, with an ASOL, just going out, even Tiny Titans. Can you just quickly remind me and the audience what Obu is playing, who's leading the lobby?
Look, one thing you may have noticed about me so far, Makes, is that like my memory of who's doing what within a game is equal to a goldfish's. So if you know,
to set us up for success.
If you know, I think you should absolutely tell the audience.
It's the scale scoring board. So Obu, from the last time we saw him with the Olaf one and the Diana one, has managed to just greatly stabilize and actually pull ahead of the rest of the lobby here. I'm not sure what else is going on this board there, but it might be the end for Yush, whose Deja is under attack. Yush going out 7th here, depending on what's going on with Tamura. Yeah, it's going to be 7 from Yush, and sold down to 1 HP.
Wow. You know, and that was with a couple of Zephyrs in the pocket as well. You know, if he was doing his scouting well, would have been able to find that.
There's the skill scoring.
So that's like, wow. And now I feel even worse because I was talking down this Gale Scorn board at the start, with this unusual itemization here. Obviously, Knife's Edge is fantastic on Olaf. And with the double Zeeks, that is also very, very helpful. So this Olaf is going to be popping off. That said, he's been fighting them slowly. RNG has not been with him. No one else is picking up Olaf's, right? And he's only still got 5, and we're at 5-6.
Yeah, also has that dual Lotus augment as the last augment, which is going to give it a little bit of extra crit. Going to be nice, but not nice enough to deal with Kade's dragons. They're just too strong for now. Going to give a big hit to Obu, and you said it, 5 Olafs on level 8. Went to level 8 as a way to strengthen out the board. Soul actually getting knocked out here 6th. Yeah. It's going to be hard to hit the Olaf now. It won't be as easy. So hopefully he can still find that Olaf 3.
Yeah, looking at his odds, actually, he must have had a Bard in there for a little while, because it's actually, he doesn't have the standard... No, does he? 38%? No, yeah, of course not. Yeah, so he's had some meeps to change that around a little bit, because if I'm not wrong, your 3-cost odds are the same on level 7 as level 8? Right? So in terms of finding
now
Olaf,
we're the other way around. You might have not noticed, but I don't know anything about numbers.
Okay.
But yeah, we are getting words.
You remember the comps. I'll remember the numbers.
7 and
okay.
8. Exactly. Teamwork.
Yeah. So like for Olaf, it doesn't hurt you too much in terms of that. It's more just in terms of like, you've had to spend that money on leveling, and so you weren't spending it on re-rolling and perhaps finding the Olaf a little sooner. But if you're stable, with that Olaf too, there's nothing wrong with going up to level 8 just to give you the extra options to chuck on your board, and it'll. We just went past. Obviously, got the Zoe on the board. He does get there just with a couple of cells. Wow! So that's a big up for him. Even got the Edge of Night, which is not too bad on either. Probably your Pantheon does choose for the opt to go for the Diana there. Okay, this is a big spike, right? And as we touched on very briefly before, the Jeweled Lotus. Remember, Scale Scorn is giving your units extra magic damage. That is one of the 2 parts of that trait. So that's being amplified by that Jewel Lotus augment here, and that is one of the reasons why this Olaf is doing so much damage. And by so much damage, I mean
it's not
nearly enough.
Genome. The data and the zippy comp just bonked Obu on the head, and also Tamura going out here 5th. We are down to our top 4 remaining, and Kade really managed to go from 18 HP just all the way up with those dragons, and I think I just cursed him because he lost and is back on 12, but still doing a fantastic job of holding on to this lobby in a moment where we weren't sure if he's going to get further than 7th. Has found all of those dragons, has at the very last second used that champion duplicator, and is now picking up dragons left and right, but other players also have those dragons, so it won't be as easy to hit.
Man, that Rick and Bob was a hell of a pick, wasn't it? I mean, how many times have you seen that in tournaments, for one? And 2, how many times have you seen that actually work out in tournaments? Like, this has been pretty incredible. I mean, the Jace frontline with the Diamond Hands also is I would have to say, also a pretty high roll. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing if Aurora can take this out with what you'd have to say is pretty close to best in slot Shyvana 2.
I love the Shojin Soraka 2 there. It's just doing wonders for Kade's board at the moment. It keeps everything alive, Soraka itself, of course, but all of the dragons providing that extra sustain that is needed against a Dawnbringer board, and I think that worked out wonderfully for Kade. However, Aaron got knocked out, and there's big upgrades waiting for Kade. Now, do you lock the shop, or do you give up on the Soraka 3 dream? It's going to be Soraka that goes home, and Kade will be able to find that Idas too, and has another 2-star dragon in shop to be upgraded.
I can't believe he denied my Soraka 3 dream like that.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna hear
cruel
from
of
us.
him.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, look, picking up the Aoshin too, not too shabby at all. This Deja, you know, with the IEJG combo has been doing very well, and locks onto the Olaf very early here. Oh, but that Zoe cast! Oh my god! It was the Zoe ult that completely blocked the Deja ult from doing anything. Wow, I mean, Olaf was in a bad spot there. The Deja had locked onto him early, and it felt like there was a good chance he was going to take him out before, you know, carry v carry. But wow, divine intervention, huh?
Obu still goes out though. That was the copy, so Obu now -3. Aurora, second place contender for now, is on 1 HP. Kade just hit the Aoshin too, and we need to check in with Kade because I don't know how many dragons that is by now. I think it might be 5, 6 not possible due to the lack of extra augments here. But okay, it's going to be 4 dragons, all of them 2 cost. 2-star Jace and 2-star Soraka is looking for further upgrades but has no gold available for now. Same goes for Aurora. Would like that. Jace doesn't find it, and yeah, here we go. Soraka being placed out. Ooh, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, right, 6-5, if he takes a loss, look, maybe he gets the win, but he's really just looking for on-the-board power here to go from second to first. He's done that partially with the Aoshin. He even, you know, I think, did he find a second... found a second Jace 2 just so that he could remake that and chuck the diamond hands onto the Aoshin, and that is certainly paying dividends at the moment because Aoshin is still alive, still doing damage, and they're going to take out Aurora. Kade is steaming home to a victory here in Game 2.
I love that. I mean, not necessarily, I'm not the biggest fan of